Hey y'all, I'm back with a Project Life Process video, and this is week 2 for the Hip Kit Club. I am starting with my photos. I just have 3 4x6 photos this week. There wasn't much going on in week 2, so I decided to print our family photos that we got back that particular week. We actually took them in week 1, but we received them in week 2, so I decided to go ahead and print them off since I did not use them in week 1. So I really wanted to use kind of a black and white color scheme for this week. You'll see that I don't end up really going with that, probably because there's quite a bit of like pink and peach and stuff like that in these kits, and I really wanted to use some of those colors. And so I do still kind of keep it sophisticated and simple, but I add some punches of color. So my thought was to use these gold thickers for the title card, and I did end up using those, but I realized that the word "to" was going to be too long for where I wanted it placed, and so I ended up just putting the number 2, and then I'm going to add a heart right in the middle. And those puffy hearts are by Paintbrush Studio. Also, this particular day, we focused on the Good Vibes stamp set. Now, I have focused on that before creating DIY embellishments, and I'll link that video down below if you haven't already seen it, but I'm going to use them again in this process, and I really love these stamps. I have talked about them before. They're by Crepe Paper, and they came in our Project Life kit in the December 2017 hip kits. And so I'm going to focus on them again for this particular layout. And I'm going to go ahead and get my acrylic block and place several of the stamps on there, and just kind of random placement where they kind of fit. And then I am going to simply use my VersaFine ink and stamp them onto a white card. Now, you're probably cringing because you probably noticed that I turned over a card that was an exclusive Project Life card for this month, and I'm using the back of it. And the reason I did that is because the white matches. If I would have used a different white, it would have, even the marshmallow cardstock has a little bit more of a yellow tint to it. And so this was like the closest one I could find, or this was, an exact match with the other cards that are in the kit. And I didn't really want to look through all my paper. So I just went ahead and turned it over and went with that. And I really liked the way that turned out. And then, and in my mind, I'm using it anyway. So I just added a sticker. So I have to talk about these Paintbrush Studio labels. I love the texture, or the smoothness, and the matte, surface. And I love that you can stamp on them, that you can write on them really with any kind of pen. I love the design of them. They're super simple. They're really my style. And so that was probably my ultimate favorite thing in this kit this month. So I used one of those just to kind of add to that black and white kind of DIY card, and then with the stamps. And then I'm also going to use my stamps again to kind of add some labels. Well, actually I stamped right onto some of the labels that I talked about from Paintbrush, and then I added to that bottom photo. And then I've added a couple of black and white stickers by Vicky Boutin, and you can watercolor those. They're pretty thick and pretty high quality, but I'm not a huge mixed media person, so I just decided to leave them black and white, and I love black and white anyway. So I switched out a card because I really felt like I needed kind of a pop of color, and I also didn't want to have 4 filler cards right next to each other, so I decided to focus on journaling for one of the cards. So I got the hello card because the pink matches perfectly with the pink heart, and then I also have that color pink down at the bottom, the picture of my daughter in front, and then my family in the back. And so I thought that would be perfect. And then I added, I talked about the photos, and then I added a stamp from that Good Vibes stamp set that says my people, and I just double stamped that. And now I'm going back to those black and white stickers by Vicky Boutin. I hope I'm saying that name right. And I realized with this ink, it's super easy to smudge, and I did that several times, and a lot of it is just not making sure that my fingers were clean and stuff like that. So I redid that because it was kind of bugging me, which normally that kind of stuff doesn't bug me, but I decided to go ahead and redo that, and I liked that a lot better. I also added that A for amazing, but I felt like if I was going to add that peachy pink color that I really needed to, or it was kind of an orangey pink color, I felt like I needed to add another pop of that same color at the like kind of diagonal to that, if that makes sense. And so I went ahead and added that to the title card, and I really love the way that turned out. So I was going to try to stay away from these. I love these crepe paper main squeeze ephemera pieces, don't get me wrong. I was going to try to stay away from them because I was going to use like the majority of just simple designed pieces in this particular spread. But I loved just kind of like the simplicity of that tag, so I went ahead and used that. And now I'm just adding a few more little puppy hearts, and also to tie in that orangey color again. And then I'm trying to find something for that top photo. I do go again with that orangey color, which I think kind of tied everything together. So I ended up going with kind of a pinky color, a peachy color, and then there's a little bit of navy in there as well. And that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this process. It was pretty quick, but I love the simplicity, and I hope you'll try out making your own cards using stamps. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.